I do have a source who told me that Meghan Markle has been keeping a video diary of her life with Harry. Because, I mean, one of the things that we know is that Meghan is a grifter, and she knows the value of having her word means nothing. She can go and blah her way, but now she is so she has discredited herself to such a point that, nobody will believe anything she has to say. But she is recording this idiot. And if he doesn't know it, it's going to be a brutal awakening, because there is no way that Meghan Markle is not going to have video evidence of anything and everything that goes around Harry.
Breaking right now, growing outrage over Meghan Markle's Vanity Fair feature, which has exposed her as a bully on an international scale. The royal YouTube sensation Paula M posted on this: "Game over. I feel vindicated. After having my Twitter account cancelled, my YouTube videos taken down in 2019, and after 5 years of exposing them, I am glad it's coming out." Vanity Fair played a huge role, along with the other mainstream media, covering up for these two idiots. My take: the palace wants Prince Harry back because this is a hit piece on Meghan Markle to try to salvage Harry's reputation. He's alone. He's dumb. He didn't know any better. He misses his family. All BS. But hey, Meghan is about to find out how far the king's reach is in the USA. Harry is just as bad, if not worse, than Meghan. No poor Harry from me. I agree. There is no doubt in my mind that this was coordinated with Buckingham Palace right when Harry is on his way to the UK. And now some reports that Netflix is even considering axing with Love Meghan altogether as a result of the negative reaction swirling to the Vanity Fair piece. Of course, the Daily Beast Newsweek has described this as a major crisis, and the Daily Beast has spoken to survivors, so-called Meghan Markle survivors, who feel vindicated by reports of her demon ways. So, Paula M, a huge amount going on with the Vanity Fair article, and I'm fascinated to hear what you've been discovering.
Well, it is absolutely insane that this woman thinks that she can bully her way through life. And again, it goes down to that word accountability, Dan. I said last year that last year was going to be the year of accountability, and a lot of people were held accountable. I believe that this is going to be the year. You know how Megan had that little video of her running to the beach, carefree, writing 2025 repeatedly, like 2025
Yes.
takes, but she got it right in the end. I think this is going to be the year of the downfall of many people, because I just, like, it's not only in the UK. This is no longer just the UK. This is now the US, and these are major outlets. What it's very baffling to me is how Meghan Markle is not calling them racist, because that's why she accused the UK press of being for calling her out. I remember Mr. Valentine Law, if I recall,
Yes.
right before they did the Oprah Winfrey disaster sit down, that these other survivors in the UK came out and spoke out, and Meghan Markle dismissed them as, they were trying to silence her, muzzle her, whatever.
Oh yeah, and
But
it was all just to try and destroy her before the Oprah Winfrey interview, wasn't it? And it was all driven by racism, and they were put up to it by the royal family. All of that. We got all of that rubbish.
how come she's not calling out, and the Hollywood Reporter? Ooh, child, that was brutal. It's like it gets worse. It's pretty much every reputable news week. You have people, they haven't really gone hard on her, but then it's People Magazine. But you've had like everybody in the US calling her out as a bully, and yet not one peep of racism thrown at them.
Yeah, it's
Not one, oh, it's
interesting.
because she's a woman of color. She is this or she is that. And the only real denial that she has given was that selling of the book, purchasing the book, which is quite interesting. That in itself says a lot.
Yeah, and
Because I
I
remember,
want to get into this actually with you.
yeah,
But just before I do, I'm sure most people have at least heard about the article, but I just want to take you through this specific part of the article because it's obviously very critical. So Vanity Fair wrote a few years ago, a rumor began circulating around the book world about another prospective project for Meghan. This story, which a person with knowledge confirms the broad details of, was that Meghan's team had a conversation with a publishing house to gauge interest in the idea for a potential book. The concept, for which there was no written or formal proposal, was post divorce, not a general book on life after marital dissolution or one about Meghan's past experiences. This notion of a book might center on a post Harry divorce. Not that there actually was one in the works, just that if a divorce ever came to be, would this publisher theoretically be interested in a book that took place in its aftermath? Now, that is a bombshell revelation. It's certainly something, Paula M, that fits with lots of my reporting about how Meghan is absolutely planning for a post-divorce world. And what interests me is that you believe Meghan is preparing for this by even trying to record some of her conversations with Harry, what presumably so that she has evidence to a publisher in order to say these conversations actually took place?
yeah. I mean, Dan, this woman, um, I can honestly tell you that no woman, when you're being proposed to, will think of calling her best friend and record her like so-called proposal. So from outlets out there, we know that this woman loves to record everything. In the Cut magazine, I think article, she said that she wasn't for, or she didn't have to sign an NDA agreement, that she could say anything, but she chose not to. But we've seen that this woman records stuff. This woman loves her phone. And I do have a source who told me that Meghan Markle has been keeping a video diary of her life with Harry. Because, I mean, one of the things that we know is that Meghan is a grifter, and she knows the value of having her word means nothing. She can go and blah her way, but now she has discredited herself to such a point that, nobody will believe anything she has to say. But she is recording this idiot. And if he doesn't know it, it's going to be a brutal awakening, because there is no way that Meghan Markle is not going to have video evidence of anything and everything that goes around Harry. We've seen in the Netflix documentary, or I don't even call it documentary, that show that they put up, that they had clips that nobody had ever seen. Meghan Markle posting clips. This woman lives on her phone. This is, I mean, and I don't know if you saw this, but there was this guy, this actor called Christopher Polahan. He did a podcast about 3 weeks ago, where he was Meghan Markle's co-star in the Dater's Handbook. And he admits that Meghan Markle told him that she started dating somebody in March of 2016, and then she went silent. And then on October 31st, she phoned him, or she sent him. That was the last time he received a text message from Meghan, telling him that the news were about to break, that she was dating, that the man she had met in March was Prince Harry. So this, I mean, she was the one. How would she have known that there was an article about to break? We know that she has been taking pictures of Prince Harry. We've seen those famous pictures of Prince Harry and Halloween with Princess Eugenie, and those are pictures that you can see her taking them. I mean, it is such a thing. And this person, who has never failed me with information, has told me that there is a lot of video footage of Harry out there, or that she has, and that she is, I mean, that'll be her main card. A book, yeah, probably she's shopping for a book. But I do believe that Meghan Markle is going to have a lot of video footage of Harry. We're going to see video diaries. And you know what? And I actually talked about it in my video, and I asked, would you watch it? I would be guilty. I would be watching to see what she has to present. Everybody will like, and I've said that she would be showing these videos from a biased point of view, because she will want to show her truth. She would like to guide us to the narrative as how she was a victim of Harry. right? But I would unfailingly, most of the people on my channel say they would watch it.
But isn't that so difficult, though, for her to prove now, given that even Newsweek, even Jack Royston at Newsweek, who's always been Team Meghan, is saying this Vanity Fair article takes the bullying allegations to another level
Absolutely.
because this is now transatlantic, it's now constant, it's now revealing that people are in therapy. I mean, his argument to Meghan is you can't just keep denying this now. You're actually going to have to admit it and manage it in some way because it's become a tsunami. And of course, look, I'm very proud that I was the first to raise my head above the parapet and talk about. I mean, I was literally the first journalist to come with any evidence about the fact that Meghan treated her staff terribly, and it was in regards to the way that she was dealing with staff at Kensington Palace. That's how long we're talking about. So for a long time, of course, I was accused of all sorts of things. But the point is now, this is a trend. It's constant. It's consistent. It's with all the staff. So do you agree that actually it's no longer going to stack up? I mean, yes, sure, we might watch Meghan trying to say, oh, Harry bullied me one day in her post divorce book, but no one's going to believe it, are they? Because the evidence against her now is categorical. And the only reason that these people haven't actually spoken up, certainly the ones in the UK, are because they're confined by the Official Secrets Act, which you have to sign if you work for the royal family. And in the case of the Americans, my understanding is they all signed non-disclosure agreements, which is the reason they can't speak on the record.
Yeah, that is the thing also, um, that it's hard for people to speak up, but it also shows a failure of people who were watching and witnessing Meghan Markle allegedly bully these people and allowed her to get away with it. Because I think there was a change in the laws in the United States of America where you cannot use an NDA to silence bullying or SA or anything like that. But I think that most of these people are threatened because Meghan Markle, up until now, has had very powerful people backing her because she's still part of the royal family. She's still married to Harry. And there is this ambivalency about whether Harry's going to go back to the royal family. So people don't want to be overly critical of Harry just in case he goes back to the palace because they want to be able to have access to the palace. It also shows a failure on both sides of the Atlantic on how to protect these victims and how to this day this woman is allowed to get away with it. It is also very incredible because I don't know if she's very famous for saying that she doesn't listen to that noise. That's noise, you
Just
know?
noise. Oh, she takes no
Noise,
notice, does she,
she
Paula? No
dismisses that as
notice.
noise, as hate speech,
Oh, yes. And disinformation. Disinformation.
disinformation, hate
Conspiracy
speech,
theories. Conspiracy theories.
jealousy.
Oh, but I'm just going to go and let the Sussex squad loose, and they're going to spread the most
Oh,
terrible mistruths about Catherine, the Princess of Wales, but we'll just overlook it. But first, we've partnered with Gundry MD to share this information with you. Would you believe me if I told you inside your pantry right now is one of the healthiest foods on the planet? And yep, it's true, this is not some weird trendy superfood. Spoiler alert, it's olive oil. Now, you're probably used to cooking with it, but do you know there are countless other ways to use olive oil to help yourself look and feel younger? For example, olive oil is a natural way to help you achieve a more youthful appearance. Besides helping you look younger on the outside, it's a fantastic tool for your insides as well. According to Dr. Stephen Gundry, a famous cardiothoracic surgeon, nutrition expert, and health advocate, you should get as much high quality olive oil into your daily routine as possible, whether it's taking a shot of it daily or keeping a bottle of it in your bathroom medicine cabinet. But what kind of olive oil is best for your health? Well, some olive oil can give you some benefits. But if you're looking to get the best results, it matters a lot which one you pick. The olive oil industry is huge. You know that because you can see the number of olive oil brands at the grocery store. And you can bet they're not all made with the consumer in mind. Many brands actually have cut corners one way or another to increase profits. So when Dr. Gundry came to this realization, he was appalled. But some olive oils are so powerful, it may only take a few tablespoons a week to see these incredible health benefits. So, how can you tell between an olive oil that can be a health booster and which one isn't up to par? In an effort to answer that question, Dr. Country has decided to take a stand and release his personal research and findings. This video has gone viral since its release, and it's important you see it, and then you can start benefiting immediately. So you can watch the video right now by going to getolive1.com/outspoken, or you can just click on the link in the description box below. Let me repeat the address. That's getolive1.com/outspoken, or just click on the link in the description box below. People who have taken his advice have shared their results with him, saying the olive oil they bought after learning his simple rules has helped change their lives. So make sure you go to getolive1.com/outspoken, or click on the link in the description box below. But now, back to the show. And more shocking details are emerging about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's shocking disaster tourism, which has really smashed their reputation in the US. Look at this from the Prince on X. It gets worse. Pasadena mayor told people who didn't live or work in the area to stay out on the same day Harry and Meghan's security team reduced numbers and cleared out hundreds of volunteers from the distribution center so they could do hugs and PR tour of the burned houses the next day. And there's actually a post from the city of Pasadena that backs that up. Then, of course, we have the podcast, the Damn Mean podcast, which I think before we get Paula M's take, it's worth having a listen to what the Jimmy Pardo show revealed. Just while we're looking for it, Paula M, can you just set it up for me? Can you just set up exactly what you now know went on?
Well, I worked in my past work life. I used to work in a lot of disasters
No worries.
and stuff like that. When people say that Harry and Meghan they cleared out hundreds of volunteers just for them to do a 20-minute walkabout, a very ghoulish 20-minute walkabout, because the owners of the homes had not been even able to get to see what was left of their own homes. It takes time to move hundreds of people out of an area. And then it takes time to get them back in to resume work. So it's not just the 20 minutes you're looking at that because a lot of people say, oh, but it was just for 15, 20 minutes. Yeah, but you have to move these people out and then move them back in. And when disaster hits an area, every minute, every second counts. And why were they allowed to be there to begin with? They're not representing anybody. Instead of working alongside the volunteers, why didn't they do that? Why didn't they go shoulder to shoulder, clear the rubble? I mean, California is still burning around, by the way. It's not like the fire stopped. It was still burning around. And where were their children? I mean, they leave their children while there's fires everywhere just so they can go. It's so ghoulish. And it brought memories when Harry complained about the photographers who were taking pictures of the late Princess Diana, that they were taking pictures of her while she was dying, how ghoulish it was, how terrible it was. And here he is doing exactly the same thing, going on other people's, homes, burnt homes, their lives. And he's just going around for a photo op. I mean, and this podcast came from somebody who apparently had been there the day before, and they were shocked, and they're like, "You don't do this. You don't do this. How can this man not see the hypocrisy? How terrible the ghoulish behavior, like vultures hopping over the fence." I mean, it is absolutely a disgrace. And the backlash was swift and brutal. Justine Bateman, I mean, Kelly Osbourne, I believe that she kind of made a reference to it, but not
Yes.
really.
Well, she didn't name them, but it was so obvious who she was talking about. Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens. But
Megyn
I
Kelly.
think what was so significant was the way TMZ turned as well, because in the past, they've been relatively neutral on Harry and Meghan. They certainly run the paparazzi pictures. So it definitely feels like there's been a sea change, Paula.
Absolutely. And you know what the saddest part of it all is that Meghan Markle is not really worried because she's helping or not helping. Is because of her image. Because I think she's desperate because of the Netflix. Netflix refused to take down the comments, God bless them.
Yeah.
And they use that as a metric, to gauge how
And the
how
record
well.
dislikes for With Love
Yeah,
Meghan.
I think they're doing that because to show that she's not well liked because they're not going to renew the contract. I mean, uh, because otherwise they would have turned off the comments. They didn't even turn them off on X, so they've left them on everywhere. And the
Yeah, but
backlash
it also
again.
shows they're only good for Netflix. Harry and Meghan are only good for Netflix when it comes to hate watching. That's it.
Yeah, Dan, but people say, oh, all publicity is good publicity. I beg to differ. I mean, Princess Catherine, you go and buy what she's wearing. Meghan, she makes everything, the most expensive outfit look so cheap that she puts people off. So this is why this is just my belief. She hasn't been able to secure a major brand deal. And I mean, in this ghoulish behavior and the fact that she doesn't get it, this woman really doesn't get that what
She
she's
doesn't.
doing. I really do. I really
She
think so.
doesn't get
I
it.
think she.
She doesn't get it. And you are completely right to point out no major brand deal. That is extraordinary. I remember the day after I broke the story of Meg's. So we're talking over 5 years ago now, Paula. It was January
I
2020.
remember. I read your column.
Yeah, it was January
I
2020.
was like, yes, yes. Another one.
Well,
Another.
yeah, people were telling me so much back then. But I remember the day after they said to me, "Oh, she's going to get a big deal. She's going to get Givenchy. She's speaking to she's speaking to all of the big brands." I'm not so good on the fashion stuff. I never really know who they are. But the point is, they always expected Meghan to get a big fashion brand. And the fact she couldn't even get one then says it all. She certainly hasn't got one now. I just, Paula, want to go back, though, to this podcast because what's so interesting is these are not the usual people. This is the Never Not Funny podcast. They don't have any agenda against Meghan and Harry. They're just ordinary Californians affected by what happened. And I think it's worth us taking a little listen. Let's listen along together.
Rightfully so. Yeah. They saluted me.
Yeah. Speaking of celebrities, this is a secondhand story, so maybe I shouldn't be spreading it, but I'm just going to say it anyway, and you guys can take it with a grain of salt. Maybe it isn't true. I don't know. But
it is.
Zoe went to volunteer at a place yesterday with some friends up in Santa Anita, just handing out stuff or whatever. And
did she say I was recently on a very popular podcast? And at the end of the day, I'm the hero here. Did she use my line? She's welcome to use it.
She kept a low profile, unlike the people that were there the day before, which is the story.
Sorry, go ahead.
The day before, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry had showed up to that place, and there's like hundreds of people there volunteering. They cleared it all out. Everybody,
fuck that noise.
Take 15. These people are coming in to pretend that they're helping and get a photo op. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You know what? We saw Nick Cannon. And people badmouth Nick Cannon for a lot of reasons. Mm-hmm. But we saw Nick Cannon that day. He joined in with everybody else.
Yeah.
That's what you do. That's helping.
Right.
Fuck them.
Yeah, I forgot about that when we went to Dodger
If that story's real, fuck them.
Yeah. Again, it was a parent of a kid that she goes to school with who the kid was there the day before. Or she and the kid were there the day before, and then
there's no reason not to believe it's true. Then that's awful. Yeah. That's stupid. That's awful. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Not especially. I'll still say, especially in these times where it's all hands on deck.
Right.
That shit. That shit happens a lot.
Right.
But it should not be happening right now ever.
Right.
It should not be happening ever, but it really should not be happening right now.
Right. In the thick of this is a very the fires are still going. There's still there's a lot of chaos and uncertainty. It's like if it's a month from now and there's like a food shelter, whatever, like a food bank, and things are just kind of settled and yet there's still people who need stuff. And then you go and you go, hey, can we just come in for half an hour? That's a little different. This is like the
I still
week
think that's
of.
shitty.
It is,
yeah. But the week of is really out of fucking line.
It's like you're taking resources out of. I mean, I know it was only for limited period of time, so
It
it probably
doesn't
didn't
matter.
disrupt them that much. But
If it's not going to disrupt them that much, then you walk in.
You just do it.
And by the way, if you're not disrupting, then you're not even fucking helping.
Right.
You're truly not helping.
Yeah.
You're coming in for that photo op, like you said.
Yeah.
Do you think 40, 50 years ago that kind of thing happened?
I mean, like you hear stories about the
So interesting. And just that sense, Paula, of visceral anger and visceral disgust.
I mean, further along the podcast, the guy goes, "What is she, Canadian?" I immediately jumped, and I'm like, "No, she's not Canadian. I'm Canadian. She's not Canadian." Because that's how little they know about her. And the guy had to clarify that no, she was born and raised in Los Angeles. But that's how unknown Meghan Markle is. But these are two dudes who are talking about this is. This is not even, for example, the UK evil media or the evil US tabloids or the evil Dan Wootton calling out Mexit, no. These are two dudes on a podcast who somebody was there and witnessed this. And they they removed people from helping so they can do what? And as I said, the most disgusting part of it all is that Meghan Markle is not even thinking, oh my God, I did something wrong. Maybe I should have, I'm going to do something else. It was wrong of me, or issue a statement saying we apologize for that, for delaying this or whatever. Maybe we should have worked alongside the volunteers the whole day. No, not one statement from these absolutely deluded vultures. It makes me wonder, how entitled are these two that they think it's okay, and then on top of that,
I think it's completely fine. They don't understand it. That's the problem. They don't get what they did wrong because they think they are running an American royal family. Delusional is the right word. But this is the problem. And to come back full circle, Paula, to wrap up, this is what the staff members, even the staff members in Vanity Fair, who aren't the ones who are in therapy, but know the truth about Harry and Meghan, make the point that you can't stay working for them because they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear the truth. And it actually just becomes too painful to deal with them. And that's the problem. They are now surrounded by complete enablers who are terrified of them, and look at what's happened.
Yeah, and again, the worst part of it all is that they look at these things as, how is this bad press going to impact my making money? And they don't look at it from the point of view that they understand that they have done, which is why they keep repeating this behavior. There's absolutely no accountability. Like that word that Harry just said right now in that court case, accountability. There's zero accountability from them. Meghan Markle, it still doesn't get that what she's doing is wrong because nobody holds her accountable. She has a machine behind her or she doesn't listen to it. But these two are running out of geographical places to go to because Canada doesn't want them. I can assure you of that. The UK, I don't know, but from consensuses, nobody wants them back. The US, the people in the US who get to know them, other than the sycophant Sussex squad, they don't want them. And these latest stunts, plus the Vanity Fair, exposes this woman to as completely a horrible human being. And I'm not excusing Howie. I'm not excusing poor little Howie, like you say, is a little pussy. But this woman, somebody even called the pussy prince. Yeah. Somebody called her that she's more than evil. She's dangerous.
Yeah.
I heard a quote somewhere.
No, totally. But I agree.
So funny.
It doesn't excuse the pussy prince. But look, for much more of this, you've got to check out and subscribe to Paula M's Royal channel. She has lots of videos with lots of juice about all of these topics. But Paula M, I always love having you on Outspoken. Let's chat soon.
Thanks so much for having me, Dan.
Thank you, Paula. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.